Hey everybody, it's Christy back with another video, and World Watercolor Month is starting in a few days, and I thought it would be really fun to go ahead and tell you what my plan or setup is for World Watercolor Month. So we're going to start with what my plan is. So if you don't know about World Watercolor Month, I'm going to link the Doodlewash Instagram site down below so that you can take a look and see that there's a different prompt for every day, and the challenge is just to try to paint something related to the prompt every single day. I loved it, did it last year, had a really fun time. I'm going to try really hard this year to do it as well and not overthink it. And so what are the supplies that I'm going to use to keep myself accountable and make myself successful? So the first thing is that everything needs to be portable because I want it all to be in a package and able to just pick up and go. So the first thing I have here is my favorite new palette, which is my mixed artist grade palette. It's from Arts to Embers. I've been decorating it with stickers, you see, and it has some Daniel Smith in it. It has some Sennelier in it, and it has somebody else, My Mary Blue. It's got a few My Mary Blues in there too. So this is the palette that I have. I've got some spots still open in it, and I just really love playing with it. I take this palette out all the time. It's getting a ton of use. It's nice, it's thin, it's got a nice mixing space. It's easy to prop up and set near wherever I am doing things. So I'm definitely going to use these paints. I will also, just spoiler alert for an upcoming video, say that Sketchbox just sent these in a box and they look really fun. So I am going to play with these and see if I end up liking these, and they might end up in the box too, because look how thin this palette is. So it wouldn't be hard to take along. And there's a white in here. If this is an opaque white, that might be a game changer, because I don't have an opaque white in this particular palette. I will definitely throw either a tube of white gouache or some kind of white Posca pen, something with some opaque white opacity to it, into this setup once I actually finish getting my bag together. I'm waiting on it because, as you'll see, the next thing I have to show you isn't my final one I'm going to use. So this is an Etcher Lab cold pressed mixed media sketchbook. This one has been used. I am waiting in the mail for the one that I'm going to use for World Watercolor Month, but I love this paper. I love that you can work on both sides of it. And this one has just, I mean, at some point I'll do a sketchbook tour with it, but I only have a couple pages left in here. I just wanted to show you the size and scope of what I'm working with. So here's my palette, and here is the sketchbook. This is the A6 size, so it is the small one. And I just really love their paper. I really love the size of it, and I really love how much I like to work on it. So I didn't want to have something that I was going to feel restricted by. So I ended up grabbing a few more of these, and they should be here hopefully today, maybe tomorrow in the mail, but I wanted to get this filmed. The next thing that I will always have with me is this little strip here, and that is, this one is dirty because they're all dirty at this point, but it is just a nice little cotton rag, as opposed to using a piece of paper towel. I like to use a rag because it's just more eco-friendly and they can be washed and reused. So this one has clearly seen some love and could use a washing, but that is my plan. Along with that, brush wise, my travel brush set that I use is downstairs, but I usually, the 4 brushes that I kind of tend not to live without are a round 6, a round 4, and a round 2. Especially for a painting of this size, I feel like this is enough to get really intricate and also bigger details. And then for washes and things, this Lindsay Wyrick 1/2 inch cat's tongue. I have another cat's tongue. This one stays in my studio, but I didn't want to walk downstairs and get my other brush set. I believe the one I have that's a 1/2 inch cat's tongue is a Princeton wash brush, but I use it all the time for plein air painting. Let's see what else we've got here that's going to go in this set. Some washi tape. So I like the thinner washi tape. I think this is 3/8 inch, and I bought a bunch of this from Temu. So I'm just going to keep this with my book here. I do want something thinner since this is an A6 size. I don't want too much thick tape to kind of be able to border things off, but also have enough space to make a nice picture. If I end up bordering it off, I may not border everything off. A kneaded eraser, because I love them, and this one is a brand new one that I need a new one because I think I lost one. You know, they come and they go, but a kneaded eraser. A pencil. Right now I'm using the Blackwing 20 from their not most recent subscription, but the one before. Really have been loving this pencil. You can see it's been used quite a bit and loved quite a bit. And then as far as pens go, I have two that I usually keep in here. I keep a Tombow Fudenosuke. This one is a soft tip. I use both the hard and soft tip on cold press paper. I find the soft tip is a little easier to control because it doesn't always want to lay nicely on the rough texture. And then I will also grab a Micron PN because, again, with the cold press watercolor paper, I like something that is going to not, like the fibrous nibs of a Micron can really get ripped up. This one has the plastic nib, so it lasts a little better. And for finer details, I find these to be really good and workable on these books in particular. I probably will use a hard tip one of these. I grabbed the soft tip one on accident, but yeah, thinking about it now, usually I take my hard tip ones here because, again, the paper is a little bit rougher and this keeps it a little bit nicer. I don't go anywhere without having a couple of clips, because if you want to clip your book open and do something that's 2 full pages, or you want to work on a few things at a time, you can do that with clips. I have this water cup that I bought at the dollar store, I'm pretty sure. It just comes like that and will also collapse really nicely. It's like a camping cup, but I use this one exclusively for painting so that it's never used for drinking, because obviously you don't want to drink things that have paint traces in them. And then I also like to have a spray bottle. This one, again, I got at Temu. It's nice and it's small and it is thin. And it's refillable. So I just thought this would be a great addition to my plein air setup. And of course, I always want to have a white highlight. Right now I'm using a Uniball Signo broad gel pen. I switch between this and Jelly Rolls. It just doesn't matter. I just like to have some kind of white highlight, though I may switch it out for something a little more opaque. We'll see. Probably. I do like these though. They are water soluble. So if something goes wrong, I can usually fix it. So yep, this is the setup that I am going to have with me as we start World Watercolor Month. I am very excited about participating once again. Hopefully you are too. And if you didn't know about it, again, I'm going to link below the resource so that you can see the prompts and you can follow along and you can play along. You will definitely be seeing more of this on Instagram. So check me out on Instagram if you want to follow along with my journey over there. Are you going to participate in World Watercolor Month? Have you done it in the past? Tell me all about it in the comments below. And that's going to be it for me today. I hope that this gives you a nice idea of what I'm doing for World Watercolor Month. And hopefully it inspires you to try to play along, even if you only do it once a week. We will see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.